Okay, the Nan movie, Catherine Tate's Nan's movie, that I was really looking forward to, but I knew would go arse over tit. I really did, and it did. Basically, now I know Catherine was in talks about doing this a few years back. I remember reading something about it, and I actually thought it was quite a good idea because Nan is probably Catherine Tate's most infamous, most popular, most entertaining character. She's just superb. I mean, personally, I was looking forward to the whole, the laughing and the fucking liberty, all the fucking this and fucking that. I was really geared up for it, but I knew it would turn out how it turned out. So I'll start by saying, like any TV to big screen production where you've got, your favorite character or familiar character going up on the big screen, there was, in Nan's movie, there was that clear distinction between how you see the titular character on 9 p.m. On a 9 p.m. BBC comedy show, and then on a cinema screen. There's always that feeling, isn't there? Like when the Hollywood style curtain drops, and the character sort of seems slightly altered. So they've changed from what they were on the small screen to the big screen. They're like, it's like they're polished. And then the movie starts. It runs beginning to end, regardless of how it was written, until the credits roll. And the beginning is usually like an opening number. So I remember when I saw Mrs. Brown's Boys back in 2000 ages ago. Can't remember the year now off the top of my head. But I saw Mrs. Brown's Boys, and it was the same there. So, you've got an opening number where you settle down to enjoy the antics, but you're suddenly hit with this kind of rendition of a popular song from a musical and a dance routine to boot. It's as if the producers sort of wheeled in the choreographer for Hairspray, and it's so cringe. So Nan, unfortunately, begins in that similar style, and it's just not the same. It's just not as fresh. Like I say, there's this absolute, definitive altering of the character when they jump from on the sofa on a Thursday night to cinema. It's, I think, tuning into the actor's sketch show or sitcom, enjoying it episode by episode, and pause. You can pause where necessary, or and go to the bog, or knowing that there's another fabulous installment coming up when you get back. It's that kind of thing. It's the whole chain of the sequence and the live, fresh feeling. Right, I'm waffling now, but I had to get that point across because I felt that here. And the Nan movie was absolutely fucking appalling. It really was a fucking liberty from start to finish. I think not that I sort of try to focus much on the movie's success itself, but and not that it sort of forecasts a film success, but there were literally about between 9 and 12 of us in a 200-seater auditorium. There was a mixture of us. The demographic was kind of, there was this middle-aged lady who was having a jolly ball in the front. There was a guy in front of me who was a clear like BBC head. He was, that kind of thing. But fluctuating light again, fucking thing. I was sat there just, oh God, what have you done? What have you done, Catherine Tate? I think in the end there was only a handful of us, and the film itself. Okay, I'll wrap this up here. I'm not going to go on because it doesn't warrant my time. I just want to note though that the animation, what the fuck? There was a scene where Nan and grandson, played by Jamie, played by Matthew Horn, so he comes back. It's good to see him again, Hello, Matthew. Good to see you. What the fuck are you doing? There's a scene where Nan and Jamie they sort of go off on the road in his little vehicle. He works for a company that has a funny vehicle or something. I don't know. I really wasn't that interested. They go on the road, and there's a bit where the blah blah blah. Catherine's Nan, she's cackling away. The vehicle, it sort of whizzes down this road, and then suddenly it just bang. You'd think you're watching a really really rickety shit animated sort of CBBC or CITV type children's show. It looked like something a kid had glued together and just stuck on a piece of card. So you've got like the car that they're both sitting in. It's like sort of that kind of thing, and then you see like Nan's face pop out, and she's got like these. So it's like her face, but it looks like it's been cut out of a magazine. With those goggly eyes stuck in it. So her eyes are massive, and she's like, so she's like, from side to side. And then Jamie's on the other side with his mouth, it looks like a trumpet as he's like shouting at something out the window. It was fucking hideous. It really was. It was so badly put together. I mean, I suppose that was a point. If it wasn't, then fuck me, guys. What were you doing? It was terrible. It's basically, like someone had just stuck on a piece of card and then like glued to a bit of bloody baking paper or something. Jesus, it was a children's television nightmare. So poorly put together. I almost had my face in my hands. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Katherine brings back her brilliantly touching character, and I mean touching because Nan is someone that a lot of us can relate to. We've all met someone like that at some point in our timeline, and she's back in all her foul mouth, just devious, sort of divinely devious splendor. But it just doesn't cut it, and it was completely fucking pointless. Even considering a Nan movie, I think it was pretty pointless. Even considering doing the movie, let alone actually screening it. It should have been, if anything, all right. Nan's movie should have been straight to TV, like a lot of things are now. It's like in complete reverse, actually, because you get like these sorts of things, like Cruella. That I think went straight to Disney Plus before it was in cinema. I think that might be a poor example. It probably didn't. I don't know, but you catch my drift. There are some things that just go straight onto Netflix and don't even hit the cinema, and they're brilliant. There's some things I've seen that are quite honestly excellent, but they don't go to cinema. Katherine does the complete reverse here. She does a Katherine wheel. So she spins around and she goes straight into the cinema instead of TV. But this would have been perfect, absolutely perfect to go. Well, no, actually, I'm talking about the whole how it transitions. Believe me, I'm not contradicting myself here. The film is perfectly shit. It's perfectly poor. It's terrible. But it would have been ideal. It would have been perfect if it went straight to TV. Listed on BBC iPlayer along with, so when you search for Katherine Tate, so you've got, this is what I mean perfect. So you've got sort of Katherine Tate's show, series 1, series 2, series 3, series 4, Christmas special, Nan movie. Brilliant. Sorted. Not the cinema. Not somewhere where I've just paid bloody X amount. Not that I'm precious about my Oyster card, but I just spent, 6 or 7 quid on a return train. Spent money on coffee when I was there. Not something where I've paid like a load, basically, in one day to go and watch. This should have been straight to TV. So even more perfect if you could binge watch her show and the Christmas specials and then Nan's film. Spot on. Right, so the film itself, it does have a story. I'm honestly not going to go into specifics. Like I say, it doesn't warrant any more of my time, and I'm at 10 minutes now anyway. I don't know how I made it 10 minutes. I really don't. I didn't think I would have anything to discuss. But I think the more a film sort of hacks me off and grinds my gears, the more time I spend on it. It's ironic, that, isn't it? So Catherine Tate, Matthew Horn, Nikki Wardley, and there's a bit of Katherine Parkinson in there as well. Katherine Parkinson actually plays Joni's Nan's sister. So it's quite good to see that. But again, those scenes were, oh God, they were so boring. When you go back to Nan's history, so you go back to when she was experiencing the war and what have you. So boring. Oh God. I was excited when I heard that Katherine was first in talks for the film. Then I was anticipating. Then I moved into, oh, I'm looking forward to this in like the cinema foyer. And then I exited the screen. End of review, basically. I'm not spending any more time on this. What an absolute shit show.